Hi, I'm Vivian the Knitter.
And I'm Alyson the Crocheter, and you're listening to Keep Calm and Carry Yarn.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 30 of Keep Calm and Carry Yarn, a knitting and crocheting podcast brought to you by me, Vivian, and my daughter, Alyson. I'm coming at you from New Hampshire.
And I'm recording from Scotland, where I live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us for our little knitting and crocheting show, which Sam likes to remind me is hardly about knitting and crocheting because we chat about other stuff. But just for any new listeners who are about, we put these out twice a month, and we're pretty good at that. Although August, we're taking a sort of summer break in that you're only going to get one episode in August. So you won't completely miss us, but you won't get the double dose as normal. But it'll be a special one because the two of us will be together and we'll be releasing a video version of the podcast.
You already decided that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, if you're a new listener, thanks for giving us a listen. And if you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back.
Did we have a special thank you?
We do. Danny, who is Threads and More Souls, said hello to us on Ravelry. Hello, Danny. I think she's from the UK, if I remember that correctly.
I think she's from Australia.
Say that again?
Australia.
Oh, okay. She's from Australia.
So our BuzzFeed quiz is answer 7 questions to find out which Toy Story character you are. Also, I hate that style of title. Like, why can't it just be, which Toy Story character are you? Instead of, do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, I know. It's too long-winded.
So clickbaity.
I like the have you got a snake in your boot?
I feel like Toy Story is still very, I'm not going to say a big part of my life, but I feel like it comes up a lot. Like, part of it is pub quiz. I swear, nearly every film round references Toy Story.
Well, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, but, there's a lot of other Disney movies, Pixar movies.
Okay, 3 of them.
So, did you answer the 7 questions and find out which Toy Story character you are?
I did. And I got Mrs. Potato Head. I don't know how I got Mrs. Potato Head. But it says, kind may as well be your middle name because that's what you are. You care about everyone around you and are always making sure everyone is okay. On nights out, you often find that you're the mother of the group and it's usually your job to make sure everyone gets home safe. You're a good egg. No, wait. You're a good potato.
Miss Potato Head just makes me think of, and I packed your angry eyes. Your angry eyes.
I know, that's the first thing that I came up with, because I used to, when Emily first started doing her eyebrows, I would always say, you've got your angry eyes.
I got Ham. You're headstrong, determined, and never afraid to speak your mind. Your wit knows no bounds, and you never miss an opportunity to crack a joke, especially if it's a sarcastic one. While you may come across as harsh, sometimes you always have everyone's best interests at heart. I don't think I'm really that headstrong or afraid to speak, or never afraid to speak my mind, whatever.
No, but you are sarcastic.
I'd like to think that my wit has no bounds.
And you are sarcastic. Or as Jillian would say when she was little, Cartastic.
Speaking of Cartastic, I assume you didn't pick Cars as the Pixar film.
No, I picked Up.
I picked Up as well.
Uh-huh.
I feel like, I like The Incredibles as well. And I like Monsters, Inc. and... Oh, wait, Finding Nemo's not on there. It's Finding Dory. I like Monsters, Inc. But we watched it so much when Madeline was little. So much. Nearly as much as Finding Nemo.
That's because we had the DVD player in the car, and we played it over and over and over and over again.
I want to know what destination you chose out of Rome, Mars, Paris, Hawaii, Seoul, Iceland, Beijing, Budapest, or Mexico.
Hawaii.
Me too! I feel like I was thinking about my honeymoon pretty recently. Also,
Uh-huh.
they've done like a weird mix of cities, countries, and a planet.
Uh-huh. That was weird. Though I think I don't know why I didn't see Iceland.
Would you have picked Iceland?
I might have. Especially on those days when it was like 95 degrees.
You know, Iceland would be a good place for us to go on a vacation together because we can meet in the, that's like kind of like meeting in the middle.
Yeah, and they've
And
got
it's
yarn
cheap to
there
get there.
too.
And it's got yarn there, yeah. Cheap to get there, not cheap to be there, but you know.
No. What did you pick for your was it the TV show?
So I picked Game of Thrones, which I think there's another quiz we did, and I picked Game of Thrones as well. I think I'm just missing Game of Thrones because it hasn't been on for so long now.
Uh-huh. I picked One Day at a Time, but I didn't realize they must have rebooted it. I thought it was from One Day at a Time from the 70s.
Well, it says
Or the
via
80s.
Netflix, so it's probably a Netflix show now.
Yeah. I
remake.
didn't even notice that they're not the right people. I just like, oh, One Day at a Time, and I just clicked it.
Not Star Trek?
No, I kind of waffled between Star Trek and One Day at a Time, and I went for One Day at a Time because I was in that kind of mood, I guess.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I did do, though, the first time I took the quiz, I picked a different fictional character, and for once, I think I know who I kind of know who all the fictional characters they put on. They're all TV characters. The first time I picked Jane Villanueva, who's in Jane the Virgin, but the second time I picked Mindy Lahiri, and it didn't change my answer. I got Ham both times.
Oh, I picked Mindy.
You picked Mindy!
Yeah. As a character, I mean...
yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Okie dokie, Ham.
Mm-hmm. Crafty content?
Yes.
Whips.
Whips. Do you have any whips? I know you do.
Yes, I do. So, I'm just going to talk about one whip, and it's just a little one. So, it's the beginnings of a coin purse, which is from a collection of bag patterns, the Stiallach Bag Collection, which is designed by Faye from the Crochet Circle. Her full name is Faye Dasper Hughes, and that's what she publishes her patterns under. And she's got a different Instagram account for her design, her pattern making, and her designing, which is just Faye DH Designs. Or if I'm being Britishy, DH.
I don't know if I could ever say that.
We'll see, because I have to spell my last name a lot. Sometimes it's CHU, sometimes it's CHU, depending.
But if you say H, they understand you, right?
Yeah. Right. So so Faye published the Stiallach Bag Collection pretty recently. She's been working on it for a while. She's been talking about it on her podcast and on her Instagram. So basically, the bags all have a sort of similar motif, sort of diagonal colorwork stripes using intarsia crochet.
Which I didn't even know was a thing.
Yeah, so Faye doesn't ever do anything by halves, so the pattern is very comprehensive, and I think she spoke about it at one point, saying that, you know, she got really stuck into it and was trying to figure out what the best way to explain how to do intarsia crochet, just in terms of everything. So yeah, it's really detailed. It even tells you how long estimated time for each of the bags. So the coin purse said about 2.5 hours. I think it took me probably longer than 2.5 hours, but not massively longer. But it is only a very small bit of crochet. But so she suggested that anyone who was just sort of looking to learn how to do intarsia crochet, whether or not you were super into the bags themselves, consider the pattern, just because she put that much thought into explaining how to do this specific technique. And there, it is a really good resource. She has a section on sort of yarn management and like, you know, turning the work counterclockwise specifically, and then like what you have to do with all the balls of yarn, like shift them this way and do this, and then, you know, to the left of that and make sure it's not, and it all makes sense, and it worked out. My yarn didn't become tangled at any point or anything like that, so that was good. So I've finished the actual crocheting bit, and it's all looking very neat and tidy, even the wrong side. I don't know that I did exactly what she recommended for the sort of diagonal bits of yarn, but it still is very neat. It's not messy.
Nice.
I did have to weave in the ends as I was going because it just created too many yarn tails, and it just got complicated, and I was grabbing the wrong things. But now I need to figure out how to sew in a lining and a zipper.
That was my next question. Are you going to line it?
I've got fabric. I think I'm going to use, I've got fabric left over from the pineapple cushion I did and the Girl Boss tote that I did. I'll probably use the same that I used for the pineapple cushion, the black, white, sort of tribal looking geometric thingy. But I've never done anything with a zipper before. I don't understand how zippers work. That's a dumb question. Like, because obviously zippers come in different sizes, but what do you do if can you shorten like the zipper?
Yeah, you can shorten it.
How?
Well,
this is like a mini Mommypedia.
You can cut a zipper at any point. You just have to like put some sew it so you can't pull the head completely off.
Right.
Of it.
So you just cut right through like the plastic bits as well.
Yeah.
Okay. But you would cut it on the split end, the end that's already split. No,
the bottom.
The bottom. Yeah. Does it matter which end?
Yes, because if you cut it at the top, you'll pull it off. I guess it doesn't really. I guess it doesn't matter. Now that I think of it, if you're sewing it in something. But I usually cut the bottom off. You just cut the stop off, and then you make your own stop by the way you sew it in.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because if you cut
once
the top
I have
off,
a zipper in front of me, it might make more sense as well.
If you cut the top off, you could accidentally pull it off, and it's really hard to get it back in.
Right. So does the top have its own like stops?
It does.
Oh, okay. I see. I think I see. It's going to be only need to be a very small zipper. Anyway. But part of why I wanted to try this was because I want to make a pillow with a puffin on it. Doing like color work. I actually just bought the yarn, and it's not here yet, but yeah, so I wanted to learn how to do this technique before I tried to do the
That is very cool. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I noticed that Faye even commented on your Instagram post with your crochet.
Yeah, she also commented about my ring matching the yarn. But the yarn, I'm just using stuff that I had. Green cotton yarn from my pineapple cushion, and the beige sparkly yarn from the Girl Boss tote. And then the blue is actually just not cotton, but it's just acrylic, I think. So
okay.
So yeah, so that's my whip.
Oh, it's almost an FO. The
crochet
part
bit is done.
FO.
But it's not like, I feel like, I was gonna say like I feel like I have the easy part done, but it wasn't the easiest crochet because for the cal, I'm giving myself a bonus point for this.
Okay.
It's only 2 points, but
when you finish it.
Well, I mean that's the thing, right? I finished the crochet part. And technically I have a sewing machine, so I don't know. Right. So, what whips do you have?
Well, I don't have a whole lot of whipping to talk about because
Whipping.
because well, I was working on my magic socks, and we were visiting your grandparents.
You messed up.
No, I left my knitting bag there, so
Oh,
I didn't get it back until your dad came home from his
I
trip,
see.
and he had to swing by to pick it up. So I did not have that to work on. I did work a little on my no. What did I do? No, it had both the almost magic socks and
Your
my
sock arm sweater?
sock arm sweater in
You've
it.
done nothing. Well, you've not
Uh,
worked on your existing whips.
No, but I did work on some a UFO that is now an FO. So
So we can talk about them now.
okay, FOs. My FO, which was a hibernating UFO. You know what a UFO is, right?
Unfinished object.
Yes, it was that infinity scarf that I was working on. That it was blue and yellow and white, in different various sock yarn,
Uh-huh. Ooh.
and I finished it. So,
looks so good.
when I pulled it back out, it just had these broad yellow stripes, the stranded color work, and a couple of these little stripes.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of it was the big blue stripes, and I did this in a blue and white broken seed stitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same stitch that I used for that hat that with the hole up top for Jennifer last year.
Right. Uh-huh.
And this cable. So I still have to block it, so the cables are squishing in a bit.
So wait,
And
let's
I think
just
I might
talk
have
through the
twisted
whole
it a little
the
bit
whole.
when I sewed the ends together, but it's okay because it's an infinity scarf.
Yeah, it's an infinity scarf that's a tube. How many different sections does it have? Like in total, like different pattern
1,
sections.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
6 or 7.
5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7.
Hmm.
But yeah, I still have to block it.
So when you block it, will it stay more flat instead of like being clearly like a tube?
Yeah, I think so. It's just this is sucking the cables. It's it's cinching in. So when I block it, I'll just have to pin this out.
Hmm. It's very nice. It looks like something you could get at the Gap.
It does look very gapish.
How many times can you wrap it around your neck?
Just twice. I mean, I was doing the broken seat stitch this week, and I was getting so sick and tired of it. And yesterday, when we were out in the car, I just finished a little bit of it, and I just started the blue and white stripes because I didn't want to do any more of the other stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I can wrap it around my head twice, but it's not too tight.
Nice. I really like it.
Thanks. So that's my only FO. Do you have an FO?
Ha 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 ha. Yes, I do. I do have an FO. It's my pleated cardigan.
You didn't even tell me you finished it.
Ooh, finished it. So, I could just like list all the difficulties I've been having with it. But it is done. So this is the pleated cardigan by Kat Golden. So last we spoke, I was just began remaking the sleeves. So the sleeves are completely not following the patterns at all. So there's no, the pattern has it so that the top of the shoulder has a bit of a pleat.
Mm-hmm.
Pleat on both of the shoulders. So that's not there at all. And the sleeves themselves are quite poofy, and then the cuff sort of cinches it in. So they're definitely not so poofy now. It's still like a 3/4 length. I had a little bit of difficulties remaking the sleeve because as I was trying to do decreases, the stitch pattern doesn't really lend itself to decreases, and nowhere in the actual pattern do you ever do a decrease, only increases. So I did it one way, but then after I'd sort of done all, I sort of thought of a different way I should have done it to make it a bit less lumpy, or what's the word? Like more gradual, to make the decreases more gradual. So when I sewed the sleeve together, I tried to sort of skip out the bits where it increased really quickly or whatever, to make it straight, basically. I think I succeeded more on one side than the other. But what else? I haven't disconnected. I haven't broken off the yarn yet. All the ends are woven in, but I'm just attached, just because the collar bit, I've already made it wider than what the pattern calls for, and because I cannot for the life of me ever make a decision, I'm like, I haven't decided if I've made it wide enough or if I want to make it wider. But I definitely decided I like the collar to be folded over because it brings the cardigan in a bit more. When I don't fold it looks a lot boxier. I haven't blocked it yet. So I want it to get a little bit longer, I think, so that it covers like half my butt.
Well, you definitely have to take pictures, because right now our video is very laggy and blurry. It's hard for me to see it.
Yeah. Well, so it's done. What else? I also filled in the gaps at the shoulders from the short rows, created like really big gaps. So I've just filled them in. So you can tell from the inside, the wrong side, because there's a weird line of slip stitches sort of on top of the fabric. But I don't think you can really tell from the outside. Yeah, so I'm really happy with it. But it gave me a lot of grief, and obviously it's not exactly like the pattern, and I don't know if it's my own fault or the pattern. The pattern that I was using was in a magazine, and I feel like it must be hard to try to fit a garment's worth of directions into like 2 pages, which is what magazine editors have to do. And I wonder that the patterns probably suffer for it, because you probably lose out some details that might otherwise have been there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Especially something as complicated as that.
Yeah. So I've yet to put it on with like a proper outfit and see what it looks like with like a pair of skinny jeans and t-shirt. It'll probably look so cute.
You're gonna have to style it.
Yeah. Well, definitely when I was looking in the mirror, I must have been wearing a skirt or a dress or something where it just didn't look that great with it. And then when you don't fold in the collar and it looks really boxy, I'm like, it's like an old granny sweater. Like,
oh no.
Like, but no, it's not. I really like it.
Okay.
And I really like the yarn as well. It's really toasty. It's the John Arbin
the color
knit by numbers.
Knit by
numbers.
I always say color by numbers.
But yeah, it's really soft and it's nice, and it's 100% Falkland merino wool, maybe. I could be making that up, but so it's all wool, but it's not as scratchy as the last sweater I made with wool. So there.
Nice. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. So
that you finished it and you plowed on through, even though you're having so much problems with it.
So if anyone else is attempting this pattern and wants somebody to talk through, not even to like give you advice, just if you just need to talk with somebody because you're having a hard time, just like a little mini therapy session, chat with me.
That's so funny. Okay, so that's it, right? With all our knitting and crocheting.
Yeah. So I feel like
how many points is that?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I wasn't going to count it towards the cal because I was already working on the sleeves or something when the cal started, but I feel like I can count it now because I did the sleeves and then I undid them and made whole new sleeves for them. So I'm gonna count it
as a whole sweater.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. As if the crocheters need more points. But we've got some promised knitting on the way.
We had a few new knitting FOs that I saw. Some cute but small ones, or small but cute ones. Mm-hmm. So we're coming along.
Yeah, and you still have plenty of time. So our Cal knit along, crochet along goes until the very end of August. So if you want to participate, which you definitely should, the only requirement is that you're knitting or crocheting something. Just go over to our Ravelry group and you can find the thread for the chatter thread and FO thread. So if you post your FO to the FO thread, you'll also find the score chart, point chart. So different types of items are worth a certain amount of points, and then depending on you crocheted or knitted it, all the crochet points will get tallied up at the end, and then knitting points will get tallied up at the end, and we'll see who wins, but it's going to be the crocheters because we always win. But definitely post something to the FO group because then you'll be eligible for prizes, and you can also share your makes on Instagram with the hashtag CalCal2018, and you can also hashtag your team spirit with hashtag team if I sit I knit or hashtag team crochet all day. But it's definitely still, I think we're still smoothing out the details because obviously last year we did it by yardage. This year we've developed this points chart, but someone has pointed out that obviously with the points thing you get the differences in sizes for garments. So if you're a very small person and you make a sweater, you end up crocheting or knitting a lot less than if you're making a larger size. But I think in that way the yardage thing covered that, but then that didn't take into account
there's
the difference
also
between
like
crochet and knitting.
If you're knitting or crocheting a bulky weight sweater versus a fingering weight sweater, I mean, I don't know if there's any way to make it fair. I don't think,
there's no perfect system.
It will be 100% fair anyway. We end up with, we settle on. So
yeah, no, I agree. I think it's just something to consider, and so we'll see how we feel next year about what we do. Maybe there'll be slight adjustments to the points table, but mostly I think it's working as it is.
Especially since it's such an open-ended along. You can knit, crochet anything you want. Yeah,
basically. So we don't have anything for the mailbag this episode again. So I will just stress that you can totally send something in to the mailbag. Just email us at kcacypodcast@gmail.com. We like audio clips, but you can also just write a message if you want, and we'll read it or share it, the audio clip, on our next episode. I don't know, maybe a prompt would be good.
Our next episode is going to be our video.
That's true. So one of our next episodes. We'll share it on one of our next episodes, but definitely, somebody send us something. Tell us about what you're working on. Tell us about a Cal that you're participating in. Tell us about some new yarn that you squished and you bought and you can't believe that you have it because it's so soft and lovely, but you don't want to use it because it's so soft and lovely.
Yep. I think a lot of people, because it is summer, so many people are on vacation. Like, I'm not keeping up with all my podcasts. I'm pretty far behind a lot of my podcasts, so I can't imagine, being able to catch up with your podcast when, number one, I listened and watched so many, and number two, being on summer vacation, you're hardly in the house.
Yeah. Well, speaking of summer vacation,
your
favorite thing?
Oh, a few of our favorite things. I would have to say the beach because I love the beach. We went.
I'm pretty
to
sure the
York.
beach was your favorite thing, like a few episodes ago.
Maybe. But I just, I was born in July. So when I was growing up, for my birthday or, my birthday weekend, the activity was always go to the beach. And we used to go to, when I was really little, we used to go to Asbury Park and they had rides and the boardwalk and stuff. And then later on, we went elsewhere, but it was always the beach. And I was always this little dark kid because we were always at the beach. And I still love the beach. I mean, I don't like, swimming in the ocean like the way the kids do, but, I like to get my feet wet and stuff. And I just like sitting there and listening to the surf and people watch. We went to York, Maine yesterday with the kids at our home and with your dad. And that was your dad's first time there. There's also a lighthouse nearby. It's like the Nedick Point Lighthouse or the Noble Lighthouse, and you can't access the actual lighthouse. It's on the lighthouse sits on a rock, and the only way you can get to and from it is on a boat. But you can sit just across it on the cliff and the rocks, and it's just so pretty and so peaceful. And I just like sitting there. So, and knitting. I got a lot of knitting done yesterday on the scarf, the infinity scarf. I was determined to finish it yesterday because I knew we were recording today. Otherwise, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. And I didn't quite finish it yesterday because I was exhausted. I Kitchenered the ends about a couple hours before we recorded.
You what?
I grafted the ends with the Kitchener stitch. It's called the Kitchener stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So my favorite thing this time is the beach. Do you have a favorite thing?
No, I don't.
Okay. Are we already talked out?
Maybe.
It'll be a super short episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We can keep it super short.
Short episode for busy people summer vacationing.
Yes. That's good. That's one way to spin it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Shall I do my spiel?
Yep, sure.
Righty. Well, you can find our show notes for this episode and photos and stuff at our website, which is just kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. You can follow us on Instagram at kcacypodcast, or my personal Instagram is Alyson here, and my mom's personal Instagram is upstate_viv. Make sure to actually subscribe to us on iTunes or YouTube or whatever podcast platform you listen to us on, and go to Ravelry and join our Ravelry group. Just search Keep Calm and Carry On podcast in the groups tab, and you can submit your FOs for the Cal and be eligible for prizes. So thank you for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry on.